Hello everyone, today we are going to talk about the book The One-Page Financial Plan. From the title, you can probably guess what this book is about. It is a belief that everyone yearns for wealth. The renowned British wit and literary figure Oscar Wilde once said, "When I was young, I thought that money was the most important thing in life. Now that I am old, I know that it is." Even over 100 years later, this statement still holds true. Wealth is important, and everyone understands that. But when it comes to financial management, there is often a chorus of complaints. Financial management can seem overwhelmingly complex. A decade ago, the only investments available were stocks and government bonds. Now, there are stocks, bonds, mutual funds, financial products, paper gold, foreign exchange, P2P lending, and so on. With mutual funds, there are stock funds, bond funds, QDII funds, and index funds. Before you can even understand these investment options, you might already feel dizzy. Therefore, many people simply leave their money in the bank, earning an annual interest of 0.3%, because they find financial management too complicated. However, the one-page financial plan tells us that financial management is not that complicated. It can even be simplified to fit on a single page. The author, Carl Richards, is a financial planner with over 20 years of experience. He founded his own investment portfolio design company and is a columnist for the New York Times and other media outlets. You may have heard of his other work, The Most Important Thing About Money, which is considered a classic in the field of finance. If you are interested, you can find this book in our daily book column. In the one-page financial plan, Richards draws on his extensive experience in finance and proposes a financial plan that fits on one page. Many of his clients abandoned financial management because it seemed too complex and involved too many choices. Therefore, he decided to write a book to simplify it. Indeed, one page is enough for financial planning, a notion that might overturn our understanding of financial management. We will discuss how to create a financial plan and how to invest. Some might say, isn't financial management just investing? The author argues that this is a misconception. In fact, financial management begins with understanding what you are pursuing and what you value most. It's about clarifying your values. Once you have your values in place, it becomes much easier to make and implement plans. How do you do this? You only need a one-page financial plan. How simple is this page? It includes 3 things: why money is important, an estimation of financial goals, and the amount of debt to be repaid. Let's start with the first question. Why is money important to you? Understanding this helps us find the key and clarify our values. Once this is clear, creating and implementing a financial plan becomes a natural process. Why is money important? It might seem like a silly question, but it can reveal your deepest desires. This stage is as crucial as a doctor's diagnosis. Imagine going to the hospital and the doctor prescribes medicine without examining you. You would probably object. The doctor's diagnostic process should involve carefully asking about your condition and conducting necessary tests before reaching a conclusion. The same goes for financial planning. Understanding why money is important is like conducting a health check for your financial situation. One of the author's clients, a successful female doctor and partner in an emergency team, was asked this question: why is money important to you? After some thought, she answered, freedom. Freedom is something everyone desires, but what exactly does it mean? The author pressed further, asking, what does freedom mean to you? Flexibility, she replied. Why is flexibility important? More time? If you had more time, what would you do? Eventually, she said, I really want to have a child. This answer surprised even her. It seemed she had just realized how important having a child was to her. In our fast-paced, high-intensity work lives, we often don't have time to listen to our inner voices, or we might be afraid to face them. The first step in creating a financial plan requires recognizing what is truly important to you, and then aligning your financial plan with your values. Your financial plan is not a Wall Street strategy, it is a product tailored for you. Asking yourself what is most important helps you focus on what matters most, avoiding distractions from less important things. As best-selling author Stephen Covey said, if there's something you are passionate about in your heart, it's easier to say no to other things. Now you can take out a sheet of paper and start your one-page financial plan. The first thing you need to write down is why money is important to you. The second step is estimating your financial goals, In this step, remember that the future is full of uncertainties, and you can only make a rough estimate. Most financial books you've read before may tell you to set short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. However, the one-page financial plan suggests that this is unnecessary. Life never unfolds as we expect. When it comes to future financial situations, what we fear most is uncertainty. Yet, you must accept that living with uncertainty is the norm. This is similar to John Lennon's famous quote, "Life is what happens to us while we are making other plans." Indeed, creating a financial plan is akin to planning a trip. Those who travel frequently know that it's best not to pack an itinerary too tightly. A small hiccup can throw everything off. It's better to have a destination in mind and a few must-see spots, and leave the rest to spontaneity. Whether it's traveling or financial planning, we must learn to live with uncertainty. Accepting that we don't know what will happen next can actually be liberating. Of course, while you don't need the details, you still need a general direction, just like when you travel. This leads us to the second step, estimating the financial situation you wish to achieve. In the first step, we clarified our values and understood what's most important to us. In the second step, guided by our values, we can set several goals based on their importance and urgency. Don't worry, these goals aren't set in stone, they can be adjusted as your life circumstances change. Perhaps your current goals are to buy a BMW in 5 years, travel the world before turning 45, and retire by 60. How much will each of these goals cost? Let's estimate. A BMW 5 Series might cost $500,000, world travel $1 million, and to retire at 60, let's assume you need about 5 million inches savings. Now, write these goals and their estimated costs on your one-page plan. This completes the second step, setting your financial goals. The third step is understanding your debts. The best representation of your financial situation is a balance sheet, and you can create one for yourself. Why are many people unclear about their financial situation? Is it difficult? Perhaps many just don't want to face it. You might not want to remember the installment payments for your iPhone 7, the credit card debt from your double 11 inches shopping spree, or the 20-year mortgage for your house in the capital. However, without a clear understanding of your financial situation, you'll never achieve your goals. This task isn't very difficult, even if you don't have a financial background. You've probably heard of a balance sheet. What we need to do is create your personal balance sheet. Take a piece of paper, draw a vertical line down the middle, and list your assets on the left side, like savings, the market value of your house, or investments. On the right side, list your liabilities, like your mortgage, car loan, credit card debt, etc. Subtract the total liabilities on the right from the total assets on the left to get your net assets. Easy, right? Now, write your liabilities on your one-page plan. Now, this page contains the 3 key points: why money is important, an estimation of financial goals, and the amount of debt to be repaid. This page is your financial plan, as simple as that. Remember, this one-page plan is more like a snapshot, not a manual. You might have assembled Lego sets before, each coming with a thick manual telling you what to do step by step. But to see if you're doing it right, you'll often refer to the picture on the box. The same goes for this one-page plan. By comparing your plan, you'll know whether you're progressing or veering off course. Now, you might ask, you've established your values, found your goals, recognized reality, and created your financial plan, so isn't it time to learn how to invest? No, it's still too early. Before investing, there's another important thing to understand: where your money comes from. For this, we need to look at both expenses and savings. Let's start with expenses. By budgeting and cutting unnecessary expenses, you can accumulate wealth. There are so many ways to spend money in life. Essentials like food and rent can't be avoided, nor can mortgage payments, nor the desire for the latest iPhone, enough mobile data, the new limited edition Louis Vuitton bag, or the latest mirrorless camera with new features. It's easy to be overwhelmed by the constant stream of new products, but how can you stay focused? The answer, though cliched, is budgeting. To make budgeting effective, you need to keep track of your expenses. You'll likely discover that your actual spending is quite different from what you perceive, often finding that you spend too much on things that aren't important to you. By comparing your expenses with your budget, you can decide which costs to cut, allowing you to save more. However, this process isn't about criticizing yourself, it's about raising awareness. You might think you don't spend much on coffee or that you only buy a few bags a year, but keeping a record might reveal a different story. If you find you're spending too much on bags when you could have used that money for travel, it's an opportunity to reassess your values and financial goals. Remember, the aim is to increase your financial awareness without self-criticism or guilt. Next, let's look at savings. Your task is to create a savings plan that suits you and to start immediately. You might have read in various financial books about what percentage of your income should go into savings. But since everyone values different things and has different lifestyles, there is no one-size-fits-all standard. Since you've already created your one-page plan, you should be able to determine a savings level that suits your goals, independent of any expert recommendations. Start saving now, regardless of whether you are in your 20s or 30s and regardless of what has happened in the past. Young people today indeed face immense pressure. In your 20s, you may be busy paying rent, and in your 30s, you might take on a mortgage. Studies show that nearly half of Americans can't come up with $2,000 in an emergency within 30 days. Compared to them, we might be doing okay? Even if you feel you are behind on your goals and have wasted too much time, don't think about getting rich overnight. It's highly improbable. What you need to do is start saving from now. Having clarified where money comes from, we can finally look at how to invest. Investing involves three parts: whether to buy life insurance, whether there are debts to be repaid, and, most importantly, distinguishing between true investment wisdom and speculative investing. First, let's consider life insurance. The core principle for deciding whether to buy it is simple: if someone is financially dependent on you, you need it. Dependency can vary. For example, a married couple without children and with both partners working may not need life insurance, as the surviving partner can maintain their standard of living. However, if there are children involved or the surviving partner doesn't work, then life insurance becomes necessary. Many people are reluctant to discuss insurance, finding it morbid or uncomfortable, but it's a crucial part of financial planning. We need to set aside emotions and assess the economic loss involved. If you need insurance, how much should you buy? This depends on the economic loss. It's not just about replacing the deceased's income, it's also about considering the impact on the survivor. For example, if the deceased earned $100,000 a year and the surviving partner's income is reduced by $20,000 due to child care responsibilities, the total loss is $120,000. To translate this loss into an insurance amount, you can apply the 4% rule. Divide the annual loss, $120,000, by 4% to get a coverage amount of $3 million. After discussing life insurance, let's look at debts. If you have debts, the only thing to do is to pay them off first. Paying off debt is an investment. There's a saying, those who understand interest earn it. Those who don't, pay it. For example, consider a 20-year mortgage for a house in the capital with a 5% interest rate. Draw a circle and write 5% inside it. Next to it, draw a box and write down the return rate you expect from your investments, say 8%, and put a question mark next to it. You're looking at a guaranteed 5% return by paying off your debt, compared to a speculative 8% return from investments. Due to the uncertainty in actual investment returns, paying off debt is an excellent investment. Finally, let's discuss the most important aspect: distinguishing true investment wisdom from speculative investing. Everyone has a different understanding of financial management, and their plans vary, but there's a common sentiment of disappointment with the stock market. This is especially true for those familiar with the Chinese stock market, where many investors have not seen significant returns despite the large number of participants. However, when talking about financial management, people still often focus on which stocks to pick or which industry is currently booming. You might have heard stories of people investing all their money, and sometimes even borrowing from friends, based on tips about certain stocks expected to hit consecutive upper limits. Rarely do these stories end with someone making a fortune. The author himself, influenced by others during the tech stock craze of the 90s, invested $10,000 in a tech stock, which was a considerable sum at the time. However, as the craze faded, his investment plummeted to just $81. Meanwhile, the overall stock market in the US was rising. So, what went wrong? The issue lies in the confusion between investing and speculating. A bit of personal knowledge about individual stocks doesn't guarantee returns. The principles to remember in investing are: 1. Diversify your investment portfolio. 2. Maintain low costs. 3. Understand the correlation between risk and reward. Diversification is a well-known strategy. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. If the basket fails, you lose everything. The importance of low costs is often overlooked. Many uncertain factors affect investments, such as changes in fund managers or company policies, or declines in company performance. Of all these factors, the one constant is cost. For example, the management fee for a typical stock fund is 1.5%, while for an index fund, it's only 1%. Without a doubt, go for the index fund. The relationship between risk and reward should be clear. High returns come with high risks. If you want to make significant profits, be prepared for significant losses. These are the basic principles of investing. As for specific investment strategies, there's no one-size-fits-all plan, as everyone's needs and circumstances are different. However, a general guideline, which is a default allocation for institutional investors and has been historically validated, is a 60-40 split between stocks and bonds. This allocation typically yields higher returns than most other strategies. Moreover, it's important to maintain this balance, known as rebalancing. For example, if you have $1,000 invested with $600 in stocks and $400 in bonds, and the stocks rise in value, you'll need to sell some stocks and buy bonds to maintain the 60-40 ratio, and vice versa if stocks fall. With a well-allocated investment, your work is essentially done. Now you can sit back and enjoy the benefits, and indeed, you should be a bit lazy. The interesting thing about investing is that doing less often yields better results. Warren Buffett, the legendary investor, said, "Our favorite holding period is forever." Investing is like planting a tree. Now you just need to enjoy its shade. In summary, if you're still feeling uncertain about financial management, don't worry, as these concerns are common. To ease your mind, the author of the one-page financial plan, with over 2 decades of experience in finance, offers 2 reassuring thoughts. First, the problems are not as severe as they seem. Even if you feel in a bad place with no house or savings, there's still an opportunity. Take a deep breath and remember, you still have a chance. Second, we all face similar challenges. Although everyone's circumstances appear different, we all seek similar things: happiness, security, and stability. This book covers the essence of financial management in 2 steps: creating a one-page financial plan and investing according to the plan's direction. The content of this one-page plan can be adjusted as life changes, but its components remain the same: your values regarding money, your estimated goals, and your debts. These elements will guide you on your investment journey. Spend less, save more, and invest wisely. Consider the necessity of life insurance, pay off debts, and be a rational investor who adheres to the principles of value investing. If you can do all this, you're well on your way to realizing your financial dreams. Congratulations on completing another book.